Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet. This review covers the 2016 Corvette Stingray kit by Revell. It's kit number 85-4425, and it's a new mold because it's a new car. The molds are marked 2014 though, and the box is dated 2016. Now, it's a skill level 4 kit, as it requires glue and paint, and that's recommended for intermediate builders. The kit has 57 parts molded in white, clear, chrome, and clear red, and soft rubber tires with metal axles. The decals are water slide type, and they provide basic badges, marker lights, and dash gauges. The instructions are typical Revell book format with full paint callouts and detailed pictures for assembly. Overall, this build is pretty easy as it's a very low parts count, but the fit and finish is excellent. The motor is simplified, but very little of it can be seen anyway, and the interior is very well detailed and looks nice when finished. The exterior was clean and free of blemishes. Overall, the dimensions are approximately 7 inches long, 3 1/4 inches wide, and 2 inches high. Here are the contents for this kit, and there's all the parts. They came out of the box when I opened it. Some people would call that an open box review by picking up each one and trying to find some words to describe it. But here's the open box review, my version, in 10 seconds. Now, as always, please make sure that you use the manufacturer's safety and use guidelines when you're using any of the products you see here in the review. The decals that Revell have been using lately are very good quality. The color here is good and the registry is excellent. But I also suggest that if you have larger decals, you'll want to use some setting solution. And throughout the build, we'll probably use liquid cement and also perhaps some super glue for strength where needed and white glue for any of the clear parts. The build starts with the motor, so assemble the motor halves and add the oil pan heads in front and paint the whole unit aluminum. The oil filter is blue and the starter is black. Now paint the exhaust manifold steel and install those in place, and the belt is flat black and installed now too. Now grab the motor assembly and these parts and we'll do some chassis work. Install the fan and the front suspension and paint the chassis flat black, and detail paint the chassis exhaust, drivetrain, and A-arms on the suspension aluminum color. The midsection exhaust is steel with a flat black panel. Now install that and add the engine into place on the motor mount. Choose your interior color and paint the dash with that. I used a tan with black accents. Now install the instrument decals and assemble the dash with the column and the wheel. Grab these parts and paint the interior pan flat black on the outside or the bottom and in the engine bay area. Then detail the engine bay components as you see fit. Now paint the floor of the interior the color that you choose. I wanted to add a little realism to the car, so I decided to add what looks like carpet by using some carpet flocking. So you just simply brush some white glue onto the floor area, then sprinkle on some filtered carpet flocking or embossing powders, and then shake off the excess and you've got a carpeted floor for your model. Now assemble and paint the seats and the door panels to match the interior, and add the shifter and install the seats into place. And the door panels and the dash are installed at this time too. Now look for the gluing contact points. We're going to install the interior to the chassis pan. So make sure that you scrape off the paint where those contact points are, and then go ahead and use some good glue to put that into place. Now get these parts from the kit to assemble the intake vent. Put that together and paint it black. And the valve covers and the valley covers are aluminum. The intake is aluminum with gray accent, and the Corvette decals go on each side. Install the valley cover, the intake, and the vent. Now gather up these parts from the kit for the wheel assembly And note that the tires are different sizes. The smaller tires and the associated rims go in the front, and the larger ones in the rear. Paint the brakes aluminum with red calipers and flat black hubs. And to give the tires a worn look, press and roll the tread on a sheet of fine sandpaper. Insert the rims into the tires and add an axle into one rim on the front of the rear. Now install the brakes into place and slide the axles through the holes on the opposite side with the tires onto the axle and press them together for finished suspension. Well, now you can see you have a very attractive base, a rolling chassis on which to build the rest of your model. Now grab the body parts for assembly and painting and pre-assemble the body prior to paint. Add the mirrors to the body, add the hood hinge to the hood, and install the spoiler. To prepare the body for final paint, wet sand the whole body with at least 1000 grit fine sandpaper to remove any blemishes and mold lines. Frankly, I did not find any on this body, and it was very straight with no issues. Use a good quality primer then to coat the body completely on the inside and out. Wet sand the primer now after it's dried with fine sandpaper, at least 800 to 1000 grit, to prepare the body for final paint, and check for any blemishes, fixing and repairing them at this time. This one was ready for paint, so I painted my body color using a red, and after it was dry, I moved into the decal stage. As you can see, this is just about the biggest decal in the kit. Most of your supercars are very understated as far as badging goes, and this Corvette is no exception. I think that you probably won't need setting solution for most of these, but if you find any contours that need to be adhered to, use some of that, and plenty of warm water to place your decals. Let those dry overnight, and when it's completely dry, you can give your car a clear coat spray to seal the decals into place. Now get the glass and some of the detailing parts out for the front and back, and I like to dip my window glass into some Pledge floor care, let it wick off and dry to give it an even thinner, cleaner look. So once that's dry, these particular windows don't get glued in. They actually just snap in. So go ahead and watch the yellow arrows there with the headlight lenses, okay? And then you can put those into place as well with the reflectors, and install the exhaust tips and the headlight bezels. With the windows and the headlights locked into place, you can slide the interior and the chassis into place, and the rear end first at about a 45-degree angle, and then slowly spread the body sides a bit and shoehorn the rest of the chassis down into the body until it snaps flush there. The front air dam comes from the 2014 Corvette kit because it hasn't changed. But you might want to remove the copyright script there with a blade and some sandpaper, then paint that flat black and install it into place on the chassis. With the body in place, the engine is very snugly fit into the engine bay, and really just about all you see is the intake plenum and not much of the motor. So grab these parts and paint the grille and the hood grid there. We used to call it a shaker hood, a flat black, and then install the hood grille into place and install the hood into the car. Then install the grille into the front of the car. So to finish up, grab those taillights and paint the surrounds flat black, and then install those into place. Now this is an optional item. I decided to personalize my Vette by printing out a copy of my logo as a license plate. I just printed it on some plain white paper using a color inkjet printer, then covered up the outside edge there with a clear cellophane tape, and used some white glue later to put it into place. the back end of your Corvette will look just as good as the front end. In fact, every angle of this gorgeous car has been done upright in a replica by Revell. So grab one and put it on your shelf. Well, there you have it. If you're looking for a high-quality weekend build, this model kit fits the bill. Revell always puts out a good product now, and this is no exception. The fit and finish is just excellent, and it's a solid car when put together. Even though the parts count is low, the overall finish is quite exciting. And I would have liked to build the suspension, but that would add complications to it and probably some cost. So I think we'll have to take it for what it is, a fun build that looks great when you're done. So grab one of these and make a model of your own personal Corvette. Well, we hope you liked this premium step-by-step quality model kit review. And so that you don't miss any more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can find Right On Replicas on Facebook or at our website, www.rightonreplicas.com. Thanks.